Hi guys, welcome to the channel. I'm Hari Vishwanathan, and the AIFF, the best federation in the world, did their press conference on 13th, and we are here to talk about it. If I have to sum that press conference up in one word, it will be nonsense. That's what it was. Nothing of note was talked about. It was 2 hours long, and the whole 2 hours, AIFF did nothing. Kalyan Chaubey did nothing. All he did was save his face and gave fans the quote unquote lollipop, which we talk about every time. That's what happened in that press conference. We will talk about it, but to be honest, there is nothing to talk about the press conference. The same old points were discussed. The abysmal performance of the national team. Not a word on that. Why would he? He doesn't care. Again, gave the same OCI stuff, which all fans know that it's not in our hand, it's on the government's hand. It's not on AIFF's hand, it's not on anybody's hand, it's on government's hand. And he told just the same. He said there are 33 players they are in contact with, some of them have OCI cards, some of them don't, and blah 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 blah. We were talking about them and we are talking to them, we are keeping in touch with them. That's pretty much what he told. And we know all this. It's not new. All the fans know that there are players, OCI players, who want to represent India national team. They have their OCI cards, but ultimately it's on government. Will they allow or not? And it's pretty funny that AIFF keeps talking about it, and the other things they talked about was pretty much the same. What they said about the striker issue we have. They said we will call 3-4 top strikers and we will select our under 23 strikers and we will train them for a few days. I'm quoting him, few days, training him and turn them into good strikers. He's a footballer, let me remind you. He played for India as a goalkeeper. So that's the knowledge of a national team footballer for you. He thinks in a few days training our strikers will become Ronaldo of the world. Well, I mean, I can't help but laugh. AIFF is a clown show, and we all know that. And if someone was expecting anything else to come out of that press conference, you were wrong, my friend. And I knew nothing's gonna happen because, simply put, the AIFF top brass doesn't care about Indian football. They care about their own pockets. That's why, even after all this, there is no action, there is no accountability, there is no responsibility. Any other federation, if they cared about football, they will resign, especially the top brass. But yeah, what else do I say? It's been the norm, for Indian football. I've seen this for the last 10, 15 years, and it's not going to improve, I don't think, unless right people come. And I don't think right people will come. Do you think so? I for sure don't, because I have seen this, for a long time, and it hasn't improved that much. There are small things here and there, but the people who are sitting from a long time, the incompetent people, are still there. They will still be there. Unless the whole system is cleaned, they are not gonna go. And we will come back to this again and again and again, because there is no solution for this, until and unless we clean everything. I'm going on a rant again, but that's just true. That's Indian football, that's AIFF for you. Nothing's gonna happen. I'm just waiting for that constitution to be adopted. Maybe after that something will change. And the funniest thing is that the questions which were asked to him by our media, so called, what people asked him? People asked him if we can do anything like the Border Gavaskar Trophy in cricket. Are you serious? Can we do something like IPL in football? Now, what else do you want me to say? This just shows that the AIF did the press conference for the sake of it, You know, football was not on the agenda, and again gave fans a lollipop that we do care. We don't care, but we do. No, just it was all, as we say in Hindi, dikhawa. It was just that. And good journalists, proper football journalists like Khel Now people and many others who have knowledge about football were not able to ask any questions. You know, isn't that ironic? That if they say they want to save Indian football, they care about Indian football, but they don't, entertain questions from the Indian football journalists. I mean, that's just AIFF in a nutshell. That is Indian football in a nutshell. You know, until again we clean up, it's not possible. No, these are the points we discussed. There were minor points like the foreigners. He also said that I'm not responsible. The stakeholders are. I can't do anything. No, this was his answer. Then it was Baichung Bhutia versus Kalyan Chope. Putting allegations back on Baichung Bhutia, the questions he asked, didn't answer a single one. The right questions he asked. Just put allegations on him that, your academy is this, your academy is that, you know, that's happened. Also, another thing, bragging about their AIFF FIFA academy. That we beat, Jamshedpur 7-0, we beat this team 2-0. They said we beat Interkashi under 17s 5-0, proudly. But does he know that Interkashi team was formed last year? Was it that, big of a deal? You know? These are the things, it was an absolute joke, to be honest. Indian football is a circus and AIFF is the joker. It's absolute joke. There is nothing useful except one thing in that whole press conference, which is the Indian women's team. The general secretary did say some things like how Indian women's team, they are planning to give him tough matches, which is a good thing. And it was seen because we played Russia, we played South Korea in the Pink Ladies Cup. Then we played 2 Uzbekistan friendlies. Good quality friendlies, because now we are lower than them, and these are good friendlies. And he also said we will play even more tougher teams, going ahead, which is good, because we need that, because for that Asian Cup qualifiers we need to play good teams. But I don't know if it's possible or not before the Asian Cup qualifiers. But let's see. He did say it. Also said that the age group teams, I think the under 17, under 20, they will also arrange matches for them, which is good. They are not playing the SAF under 20, which is understandable with everything going on in Bangladesh. It's a good decision, but I want to see if they arrange games for these girls, because they need it, because they are not playing SAP and we have to play qualifiers, so we need to play good teams. They said they will do it. Let's see. Execution is a problem in Indian football. Let's see if they, keep that promise. So that was one positive throughout the whole press conference. Except for that, there was nothing. I don't even want to talk about all those things. There was nothing about what happened to the national team the whole 2 years. Even the women's national team, how they are failing. No, I mean, because there is no responsibility, there is no accountability in AFF. So this was expected, and yeah, as I told you before, these were the things discussed in that press conference, and it was mostly nonsense except for one point which I told you. And yeah, that's all for the press conference. And I don't know what will happen to Indian football, because these last few years have been very, very painful, and the next 2 months will decide what will happen. Because in July we will get the Supreme Court verdict. We will get to see what will happen to ISL and other leagues. We will get to see if new AIFF regime will come, or we are again going to suffer. So yeah, hopefully there is good news in the Supreme Court with the constitution, and hopefully state FA elections happen, and then AFF election happen, and good people come. who have accountability, who have responsibility, who care about Indian football, not these guys, who pretend to care. That's all for today. Hope you enjoyed. Like, share, and subscribe. Share this video to your friends. Also, as I said before, use the 3 hashtags: AIFFReform, Unite Indian Football, and Save Indian Football. And yeah, I'll meet you in the next video. Until next time, Jai Hind, Jai Bharat. Peace out.